Well, I can't believe I'm actually making a video like this only 16 months since Evil Dead the game come out. And Saber have tweeted today telling us that they're not pursuing any more content to be made in the game anymore. They're not going to be making any more DLCs. It's basically just been pushed, scrapped. It's probably not even in maintenance mode anymore. But they have said they're going to keep the servers on for the foreseeable future. However long that is, probably 6 to 8 months. I can't see that them being on for another year, especially if the game isn't making any money. They need money to fund servers, really, and you're not going to be taking the money from different games to fund Evil Dead the game servers when, basically there's barely anyone playing it. It's just, where do you begin, like, with the problems that happened with this game? It's quite pathetic. It's been total amateur hour since day one with this. And like I said, I've got a list longer than Rapunzel's pubic hair with what went wrong with this game. And like I said, there's just, you don't know where to start. Ranging from the marketing side of things, ranging, from the community manager being a total inexperienced amateur, being his first ever video game that he's basically been a community manager on. Like, why would you hire someone like that? Getting into an ASIM multiplayer game that everyone expects to be live service, and pulling people in like that, pulling people in that are very disliked around a lot of game communities, bringing them in, to be faces on streams, like Sahinki, for example. I'm not saying that these are just these people were the big part of the problem. They weren't. They were just part of the huge problem of Evil Dead the game. They definitely contributed towards that, and they pissed off a lot of people around the community as well. I'm not just, like I said, I'm not saying they were the direct cause of it all, but things could have been handled way better. The dev Q&As were terrible, and all the red flags and warning signs were there from day one with all the marketing and the communication between the developers and us as a player base. It just never sat right with me. The relationship was absolutely bizarre. I've had devs from the game obviously messaging me, and I've done this in a couple of other videos, going over content that was coming to the game, crossovers with Stranger Things could be happening, being told by one of the developers working on the game that, Saber doesn't know how to work with AAA developers, how they make stuff really fast with high quality, and Saber just don't know what to do with that. It's like they swam way out of their depth with a game like this. They didn't expect it to do so well, and just totally lost the plot. Like, they didn't understand what to do with it. They thought, oh, this could be a one and done, maybe the game will last like a year and it won't blow up that much. We'll just have a very niche player base, a very small player base. And that ended up being the case. Well, rather, Saber made it that case. When the game first come out, the first few months, it had thousands of players. I don't know how many exactly, but going by like the viewership on Twitch on the launch, it did like 125,000 viewers, and it sold over 500,000 units for the game at like in the first 5 days of the game launch. And so that's 500,000 right there. And if this is true or not, going back to like the Splatter Royale release or the Game of the Year edition trailer where they said join over 3 million players within the game as well. Whether that's true or not, the game reached over 3 million players and you're shutting the fucking game down already. It's what the fuck went wrong? And there was no transparency there. Absolutely no transparency. I tried my best for you guys. I've really fucking tried. I grinded this game for hours on end. I know you guys loved coming to my streams. I love having you guys in my streams for Evil Dead, and it's weird how we just became this sort of I'm not saying it's my community at all, but it's weird how my chat sort of developed into this almost every stream it was like, oh, what can Saber do? What's happened with Evil Dead? We've all got into that debate, talking about Tim Willits, what he was saying in interviews. And again, this guy lied to us from day one as well. Take it as you want. We got fucking lied to, okay? There was stuff in interviews, games getting balanced on the back-end servers won't require an update. Never happened once in the game. It was kind of just, they were just spoon-feeding us absolute bullshit. Like, it's stuff we wanted to hear. It's like they were trying to sugarcoat it. There's stuff we wanted to hear. Like, we were just going to eat it up from them, and we did. We ate it up. We expected more. We expected their promises that they never gave us in the end. And it's very disappointing. It really is. And I put a tweet out at Tim Willits, basically screenshotting what Saber told us today about them pursuing no content. I said, so this is, 61 days. This is the news we get. It's been 61 days since you said expect some news on this game soon. Soon being 61 days, and that the game's basically being shut down, or it's not being continued to be developed for. You've got no one to blame really apart from Saber. There'd be people trying to blame the player base for being toxic, for wanting more content, or being toxic towards the developers for begging for content, or telling them they're terrible at what they're doing. You've got to expect that if you're in game development and you're not taking that on the chin, being very thick-skinned about that, then there's something wrong with you. You need to get out of that game, because any type of criticism like that, and yes, I'm not talking about death threats. I haven't seen anyone really send any death threats or anything, so no one went to that lengths. Maybe there was one or two people I don't know about, but nobody went to the lengths of sending death threats to these developers. We were just kind of venting from frustration towards the devs, saying like, well, where's the content? Where's the news? Are you guys gonna fucking talk to us? Like, at all? Is anything going to happen? Hello? We're still here? 6 months since, fucking 5 months, I don't know how long, 4 months since Ball came out, and we had nothing. We were promised quality of life updates. We got 2 shitty balance patches that did nothing to the game at all. And some double XP events, which contributed again to us playing the game to a shitty prestige system, and nothing happened. You wasted your time. I'm sorry if you got a profile level 1000 and above, you freaking wasted your time. You might have enjoyed playing the game. That's totally fine. And you might be a huge Evil Dead fan and you absolutely just love playing the game. But as someone who's sat on stream every day, heard frustrations from the community every single day, it all built up to me to the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore, man. I can't play this game. It's the most frustrating fucking thing on this planet for me right now, being my livelihood, being me building a community up around this game, all these Evil Dead fans coming together, playing the game together. And we never got toxic to one another on here. And my chat, we like, there was the odd people who were disagreed with us, even though, like, the thing is with us, we never on this channel talked about the balancing of the game. We never bitched and moaned, oh man, this needs nerfed, this needs buffed. And that was the kind of beauty of making the community here on my channel from this game. I absolutely adore everyone who found me for Evil Dead, and I really appreciate you guys sticking around the channel as well, since I've been doing TCM content and moving on to other games. And obviously I think now it's time to wipe the slate clean. It really is. I've left the Evil Dead Discord and I just want nothing to do with Saber. Like I said, I tweeted at Tim Willits. I said, you and Saber really let down this beloved game and franchise, and it's thanks for the ride and the memories. And for me personally, never touching another Saber games again. Never ever going to touch another Saber game again. I've installed World War Z. I have uninstalled Evil Dead from my Xbox as well. I'm just not touching it. I don't care if the servers are still on. I really don't care. But I really feel bad for the people who stayed even more dedicated than I did playing this game. And it was just this game being my livelihood and hopping on every day, like I said before. It made me even more frustrated, probably more than you guys, because when you've built something from the ground up around Evil Dead, having all these Evil Dead fans coming in, nothing's happening with the game. It's like, how do you keep that hype up? How do you keep that momentum going on your channel to keep growing, to keep getting more and more people into this community here who are Evil Dead fans? It got to the point where I was very frustrated because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't help the developers out at all. I really wanted to know what was happening. There was just no news coming from any source at all. And we're going to get into the last few tweets of what happened, which ultimately just kind of sent me over the edge, and I never wanted to touch the game again. And it was bizarre. They started... I mean, if they knew this was fucking happening for a start, right? Why the hell did they start tweeting builds from someone who has 128 subscribers, reached level 22, who hasn't played the game in, I don't know, I mean, he might have played the game, but he hasn't done videos for the game in over 5 months. And we're talking, I mean, I feel bad for this guy because they've kind of just threw him out to the Evil Dead community at the worst possible time. The worst possible time. If, the game was flourishing, the community was very happy. We were kind of asking for a few balance changes here and there, but we were happy with the content getting thrown into the game. Everyone was, positive vibes about it. Then you can start throwing tweets out like this. But this poor guy who has like 128 subs, maybe he's a bit more, they're deciding, right, for some bizarre reason, let's fucking throw this guy under the bus. 5 months ago, he put a build video out for Kelly, 5 months ago for Cheryl or whatever. As they sent 2 of these out to the community on Twitter, and they expected positive fucking feedback from us about those builds. We've had silence from these developers since the Game of the Year edition come out. The last thing we got was obviously like an interview and then Tim Willett saying expect news on the game soon. But if you knew your game was gonna, no longer pursue content, like why even bother sending these build videos out into the public? Like, I'd rather you just fucking stayed silent, because if anything, it just aggravated the community even more. And again, this boils down to them not knowing what the hell they're doing with marketing. I mean, look, I said there's tons of issues what went wrong with this game, and maybe that'll be done in another podcast. This is sort of me just saying bye to the game, I guess. It's uninstalled. I wouldn't install, like, I've left the Evil Dead Discord. I miss the game. I miss playing it, but I'm not gonna force myself to play a Saber game anymore. I'm not doing it. They don't deserve my time. They don't deserve your time. They don't deserve your respect, guys. They really don't. I wouldn't go near them. Space Marine 2, fucking cancel your pre-orders. Just don't do it, man. A Quiet Place, whenever that comes out, if that does come out, just don't. And honestly, I'm debating even playing Killing Floor 3, because their Tripwire is owned by Saber, and I don't want to feel like I'm paying any money towards this fucking company because of the way they treat Evil Dead the game. And there might be a few people sitting here, well, you might be like, you're just going on like an entitled baby or whatever. It's not the fucking point. It's really not the point. When you've sunk so many hours and made this game your livelihood for content creation, there's just, you don't want to touch anything that type of developer will ever make ever again. You just don't want to do it, and I don't think you guys should do it either. You really shouldn't. I'm kind of just lost for words at this point. It was sort of predictable. I don't know, the fact we had nothing. I was hoping, like holding out. Xbox Game Pass might inject some cash into the game. We might get some content from there, but ultimately it seems like they didn't want to deal with the IP holders anymore, even though the IP holders are very easy to work with. Just quoting Tim Willits there yet again. The IP holders have been very easy to work with to make content in the game, but obviously I guess that's not the case, because they aren't going to be putting anything else in the game. And to think we never got Chet, we never got Ted Raimi in the game, we never got just so much shit from the from the TV show, even in the movies, never got touched on. You gotta question the stuff that was added to the game as well. Characters like Brock. I mean, Brock's not a bad character, but there was a lot more characters the community asked for. Splatter Royale, prestige system, like again, amateur hour there. But anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna round the video off there, guys. I might do a podcast on this as like my final send off to Evil Dead the game. Really diving deep into all the fucking atrocities that went on with this game, because I think it needs discussed. It really does. We need to break down a few things. Like I said, I've got a list very, very long of just so many stuff that could have been done so much better in terms of gathering community feedback, letting the community aware, monetizing the game, getting the game money, get the game funded, get the game thriving, all that stuff. Like, I think it deserves a really deep dive breakdown on a podcast sometime. But yeah, this video is just kind of let you guys know that I probably won't be playing the game again. And since they've kind of refusing, or they've halted doing content on it at all. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of the Evil Dead, the game, not getting any more content. If you thought this was going to happen, if you predicted this was going to happen, have you uninstalled the game, you know, all that. Leave me a like as well for this video. It's not a fucking easy one to make at all, because, you know, I lost sleep over this game. I lost sleep of how it was affecting my channel, you know, up and down, positively. You know, what I will say is, though, I'm very thankful for all you guys who found me from Evil Dead the game. And it's a sad end of an era, 16 months later, unfortunately. But hopefully you guys follow me onto the new games like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That is getting an update every week at the moment, which is pretty cool. I'm sure I'll be covering a few other games as well. Maybe he's looking into doing some Payday 3 stuff. That could be really fun too. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be doing my content. Just sadly, that can't be Evil Dead because the developers decided that for me, basically. But yeah, hit the sub button if you are new to the channel as well. And I do stream on this channel Monday to Thursday. I'm covering TCM right now, so if you like that game, I am streaming that pretty much Monday to Thursday right now. I'm going heavy on the grind on that. And if you are come from an Evil Dead side of things, I've got a ton of build videos. If you still fancy playing the game, I've still got a ton of build videos and guides on my channel if you want to go check those out, or even check out some of my old streams. They're always a good time to watch. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really sorry to make a video like this. I didn't want to have to make a video like this. I never thought I'd be making a video like this 16 months after the game come out. I'm just totally bamboozled right now, and I don't know what to think, honestly. I try to help. That's all I can say. I did my best to help the game. Kind of everything fell on deaf ears, though. But thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Pixel. Those are my awesome viewers. I'll catch you guys in the next one.